It's almost scary how little you know yourself. You've had consciousness for however amount of years, for me personally, 18, and you still don't truly understand the depths of who you are. It's weird. It's strange. It makes you feel like you're not supposed to be in your own body. And if you've ever had that feeling, then this video is going to show you exactly how to understand who you truly are. But before, you might be asking, who's this guy laying on a sofa with a gray hoodie? I don't know what you might be asking yourself, but I'll tell you a little bit about my story. When I was younger, I was essentially fatherless. My father didn't abandon me in the sense that he just left home. However, from the ages of like 12 to 16, which coincidentally are the ages where your identity as a young man gets formed, I was in another country. And my father was working in the US, I was in Spain. And so I had very little contact with him, which led me to not really understand who I truly was. It made me feel like I wasn't enough. It caused a bunch of insecurities. So what did I do? I would look at personas online, and wherever I felt safest, or with whatever I identified as safest, I would just take on that persona. So, for example, at first it was Andrew Tate, masculine, no weaknesses, money, girls, etc. I thought maybe if I copy him and I just become him, then I'll truly be happy and I'll be confident and I won't have any insecurities and I won't have to deal with the fact that I had no father. Well, it worked, sort of. You tend to forget what actually is hurting you deep inside and you just kind of lay it off. But in crucial moments when you get triggered or when you're extremely sad or questioning who you are, it comes up and you realize, hey, I'm trying to play somebody that I'm actually not. And this might be happening to you. You go around life acting like somebody, and everybody thinks you're X person, when deep down you know you are not that person. And if you're honest with yourself, you're quite unhappy about that. Because every man wants to be their own man. Every man wants to be authentic, and every man wants to be respected, accepted, and loved for who they truly are. But how can that happen if you don't even know who you are? And I'll be honest, I'm at a low point in my life now. I feel lots of sadness often, but at least it's authentic. And I feel this sadness because I'm constantly overthinking, I'm constantly analyzing my prior beliefs and my prior paradigms that kept me safe from all my insecurities, all my emotions, etc. But I know that in the pain lies improvement. And the only way to grow is to grow through this pain. Because what I was doing before, alternatively, was putting on a mask so I didn't have to feel any of this pain. But I know that sooner or later, it would blow up in my face. So I'd rather do this while I can and live an authentic life from here on out. So the first step to understanding who you truly are is questioning. Now, questioning is the first and most important part of this process because without questions, you have no answers. So, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if you really want to make the most out of this video, you should write them down, reflect on them, and actually respond to them by writing them down. So, get a journal, get a piece of paper, I don't know, just write something down. So, first question, who do you tell yourself you are? And what I mean by this is, who do you think you are? Like, what beliefs do you have? What characteristics? What virtues? What values? What do others think you are? Write all those down. The second question would be, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? And try to be as authentic as possible. And it's going to be hard because you haven't done it until this video. Another question, and this one's going to probably make you uncomfortable. What are your insecurities? So because I know that that's an uncomfortable question to ask, I'll tell you a bit about my own. My insecurities, one of them at least, is that I'll never be enough, no matter how hard I try. I'll never achieve enough. I'll never be enough to the people around me. I'll never do enough for the people that I love. I will just never be enough. And it's a two-faced coin because on one hand, it keeps me working constantly, but on the other hand, I can never truly stop and enjoy what I've already achieved. So, what are your insecurities? And the last question for this section, and one of the most interesting, is going to require a bit of introspection. Remember a time that somebody triggered you. What was a time that somebody triggered you? Maybe they said something that really caused you to get defensive. Maybe they acted a certain way that caused you to really be insecure and shell up. I want you to remember that time. And for this section, that's it. You don't need to go a bit deeper. Take a moment to reflect on what you've already responded to. And let's go to the next section. Once you analyze these questions, you're going to start going down the layers. Like, where do these answers that you just said, where do they come from? Because let's be honest, you might have answered these questions in a bit of a dishonest way. And maybe you don't even know it yet. Because, listen, I get it. It's hard to let go of a persona that for so long gave you so much fake safety. Once you start taking this off, you feel naked. It's like pulling your pants down in front of the girl you like. It's very, very scary. By the way, if you want to answer them, here's a few extra bonus questions that are really going to dive deep. What story do you tell yourself to stop yourself from experiencing pain, anxiety, fear? When are you inauthentic day to day in life with others? Speaking with them, interacting with other humans. When are you inauthentic? What do you value? What do you admire? What do you respect? Do you value yourself? Why? Or why not? And what do you reject or fear most about yourself? Now, with all these questions, it is very important. Are you listening? Oh, very important. You need to allow yourself to experience everything that comes up: insecurities, shame, fear, feelings of anxiety, not being enough, anything. Just let it come up and experience it. Questions like these, with no distractions, nowhere to hide, are what actually get you closer to shaking the hand of that person that is actually the true you. All right, boys, we're on to phase 2, and it's called embodiment. So the person that you just started meeting, the stranger that you just started discovering and started answering your questions, isn't actually a stranger. He's not a monster. He's not a criminal. He is you. So start embodying it. This is the time to slowly but surely start dropping that fake mask and revealing everything that was behind it in the first place. So the first thing I want you to do is to be more aware of your interactions with others. Integrate what you just learned about yourself into the experience. So for example, if you tend to overcorrect with others and being overtly confident because you know that deep down you're a little insecure, drop that. Actually show your insecurities to the person. Speak authentically. And it sounds strange, but it's counterintuitive. It actually works towards you because people are drawn towards authenticity. And when you have fake confidence, they smell it off you, and it's disgusting. Step number 2 is I want you to correct yourself when you try and revert back to this persona. You're going to have very uncomfortable moments, especially when speaking with people, where you're going to want to go back to this mask of who you were in order to not feel judged or to feel shame. Stop it. Do not hinder your process because you're already at a point where you're getting closer and closer to living a life that's authentic to you. The third step is to have more time for self-reflection. You might have convinced yourself somehow that sitting in silence is wasting time, but alternatively, if you scroll on TikTok, it's not a waste of time. Doing nothing is actually doing something because you're not doing nothing, you're reflecting. Cut out all your distractions. Don't put on music. Don't text your friend. Sit with yourself and allow yourself to reflect. Now, fourth step, and this is combined with the self-reflection, is to allow yourself to experience what's coming up. I know it sounds super gay. Emotions. It's like a buzzword for alpha males. And I was the same way. But these emotions are like the little traces on the map that are guiding you towards the truth. And if you don't allow yourself to experience it, you're not going to get very far. And something that I came up with that I liked a lot was, emotions, experiencing them and everything might be gay, but you know what's gayer? Is being so scared of emotions that you can't even experience them to improve. Now, the fifth step, I want you to be a friend to the rejected parts of yourself. There's parts of yourself that you may not like. There's parts of yourself that you may be scared of because they might hurt your loved ones. If you keep rejecting them, they're just going to sit there and sit there and sit there until one day it explodes, and it's not going to be pretty. I want you to understand them because they're not actually monsters. They're just misunderstood. And once you're able to treat them like a friend, like another part of you, which they are, you'll truly discover the meaning beneath them, and it'll become one of your biggest superpowers. And step number 6, which was the most challenging for me because I'm a very logical type A type of personality, is stop trying to think so much and analyze this. Of course, analyze, but not logistically. And start trying to feel more. Just allow yourself to feel. If you've gotten this far, congratulations. You're on the last step and the most rewarding, which is growth. Now, let's calm down because it's not all peaches and cream. So wipe that fucking smile off your... No, I'm kidding. You can be happy. But this phase is going to allow you to experience a lot of pain. And it's a phase that I'm currently in. Many days you're going to feel like, who the fuck am I? What am I doing here? Why am I doing this? Let's just go back to feeling like a confident person, and let's not think about everything or overanalyze anything because this is uncomfortable. Stop. Go through the pain because in the pain is where the growth lies. So allow yourself to have these growing pains. Now, for this phase, the first thing I want you to have in mind is to give yourself time. This is a lifelong process. You're not going to do this after this video in a day. You're going to be like, whoa, I just found myself. No, this isn't some hippie shit. This is something that you truly have to discover. You see like the world out here, how it took hundreds or thousands of years to explore it. There's an entire world inside yourself that you are completely unaware of. And this is what self-awareness means, is slowly but surely shining a light on that and exploring it. The second thing I want you to keep in mind is your perspective. Thank God for this ability to grow. I know there's going to be days where you're very negative and you're going to be like, oh, this sucks. I feel so sad. Just in those days, remember this part of the video. Remember my sexy ass face telling you, change your perspective. You get to go on this journey. You don't have to go on this journey. You can stop if you want, but you're not going to grow. So you chose to do it. Change your perspective and be grateful for this opportunity. The third step is to integrate this new person, not this new person, the person that you just found, you, into your everyday life. I want you to integrate it into your relationships and show people who you truly are. I want you to integrate it into your mannerisms. I want you to integrate it into your career. I want you to become more confrontational if you need to. I want you to become more authentic. I want you to say stuff that's on your mind. Make it a part of your essence. This is you. The fourth step is to break all the chains of judgment, the chains of what'll they think, the chains of what do my parents say, because authenticity equals freedom. And the fifth step is to go back all the way to the first second of this video and watch it all over again whenever you need to. You don't have to do this, but if you ever have a day where you're forgetting where exactly you need to go and you're starting to feel lost again, you can watch this video back or go into your notes and repeat the process. And this isn't something that you have to do every 3 months. You know when. It might be next week. It might be next year. You'll feel it. Now, the famous saying, know thyself, is in your hands. You're finally on a lifelong journey to knowing who you truly are. You're welcome.